Hi Libra, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly report for the month of October. It is your birthday season, so I want to wish you a very happy birthday. And more importantly, 4 planets are stationing direct in the month of October, giving a whole different energy to the month as opposed to last month when all of the outer planets were retrograde and Mercury retrograded in your sign on September 27th at 25 degrees of Libra. And for you, for all of us, we're in a reflective tone as to what we value, how we partner with others and with ourselves. For you, it's a bigger deal. It can bring back many ghosts from your past in many different areas of your life. But it's an excellent opportunity to review what makes your heart happy. And think back to the fall of 2018. Every 8 years, Venus retrogrades in Scorpio at approximately 10 degrees, and it stations direct at 25 degrees of your sign. In 2018, Venus retrograded at 10 degrees of Scorpio on October 5th, and it stationed direct on November 17th at 25 degrees of Libra. Now this Mercury retrograde period has been a review as to what makes you happy. Venus and the Sun met up on October 26th of 18 at 3 degrees of Scorpio, forming a new Venus-Sun star point, and Venus rules your sign. And each of us was working with a story of what we desire, what we want to create. Now as we begin the month of October, the Sun, Mars, and Mercury are all transiting in your sign in your house of new beginnings. Mercury is retrograde and it will station direct on October 18th. But Mars is giving you energy. It is in its detriment in Libra, but it enables you to take action. I'm sure you're very busy. And the Sun shines wherever it's transiting. So as we begin the month, you've got a lot going on. Neptune forms what's known as a quintile to the north node of destiny on October 1st, and that could bring fated encounters or opportunities, but there is contentious energy. Mars, which is the god of war, opposes Chiron, the wounded healer, and Chiron is transiting in your house of relationships in the opposite sign of Aries, and that could bring up wounds around relationships. And on that same day, Mercury, which is transiting in your sign, squares Pluto, the planet of death and rebirth, and that can bring big power struggles. That occurs at 10:26 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That could bring arguments, that could bring endings, but it is excellent for doing research and getting to the bottom of things. Pluto is transiting in your house of home, family, and emotional foundation, and transforming that area as to how you get your needs met. But pay attention to the opportunities, but lay low on the combative tone. Then on October 2nd, there's a nicer energy. Venus forms a beautiful sextile to Pluto, the planet of transformation, at 3:48 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And Venus is transiting in Scorpio, which is in its detriment, in your house of income and how you earn money. And Pluto is the planet of power, and this can up-level your finances. Venus is transiting in your house of your house of income and what you value and how you're creative. Hopefully it is doing that and bringing more creativity to your life. And if you have your own business, transforming ways that you do business. But this is excellent for love and money, and it's a very lustful, passionate energy. On October 3rd, the Sun opposes Chiron, and you may find more triggers in your partnerships, but good opportunity to look at them and to work with them. On October 6th, there is a new moon in your sign. It's your annual new moon, and it takes place at 7:05 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 13 degrees and 25 minutes of the cardinal air sign of Libra. This is your new moon. New beginnings, set intentions, plant new seeds, write down what you want to manifest, and do the law of abundance. This is a good time for launching new things. Now, the interesting thing is that day, Pluto stations direct at 2:29 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 24 degrees and 19 minutes of the cardinal earth sign of Capricorn. We feel that 5 days before and 5 days after. And that station is occurring in your house of home, family, and foundation. There will be endings that week. Even though it is a new moon and it's a time of new beginnings, Pluto stations will bring transition and change. It also helps us to eliminate things that are blocking us. And we have a planet moving forward, and that's good news because we want to get ahead. And then on October 7th, Venus, which is the ruler of your sign, changes signs and enters the mutable fire sign of Sagittarius at 7:21 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, where it will be until November 5th. And it's transiting in your house of local community and networking, and it's really fun in Sagittarius, really good for you for marketing yourself and socializing and getting out in your local area. And on October 8th, the Sun and Mars meet up in your sign at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That could be combative, but could also be really good for taking action and getting things done. And that's how I would use that energy. And then on October 9th, Mercury meets up with the Sun in your sign at 12:18 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that's good for focusing on work and writing, pitching ideas, good for socializing, getting organized. Later that day, Mars meets up with Mercury. That's more combative communication, and that happens at 6:48 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Good for getting things done and being very busy, but more on your own. And then on October 10th, there's another big deal, another station. Saturn, the planet of karma, responsibility, accountability, and structures in our lives, stations direct at 6 degrees and 56 minutes of the fixed air sign of Aquarius at 10:17 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time in your house of romance and creativity. And Saturn's going to be here until March 7th of 2023. Saturn is how we anchor our goals. This is good for you if you want to have romance in your life, if you want to be more creative or structuring what makes your heart happy and working towards that. And Saturn's now direct. We feel that 5 days before, 5 days after. The energy of the planet is more emphasized. We may initially feel more of the restrictions or challenges, but it's enabling us to move ahead. And on October 13th, October 13th, Venus forms a sextile to Saturn, and that happens at 3:26 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That could be good for you romantically, good for meeting people, socializing, and it's a structured, stable energy. On October 15th, there's a lovely energy. The Sun in your sign forms a beautiful trine to Jupiter at 7:46 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And this is good for your love life. It's good for getting things done, good for feeling hopeful. Jupiter is the luckiest planet, and it's in your house of love affairs and fun until December 29th of this year. So you really want to make advantage of that, of the opportunities it can bring. And then on October 16th, we have more happy aspects and good aspects. Venus forms a beautiful trine to Chiron, the wounded healer, at 2:49 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that is very healing around love and around getting your security met. And then at 9:24 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Mercury forms a beautiful sextile to Venus. And that's good for harmony in communication. It's very romantic and creative, and that's very nice energy that day. The next day is a lot going on. It's very intense. The sun in your sign squares Pluto at 8:12 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. There may be things that you're letting go of. Maybe there are changes at home or with family, but it's also really good for purging what you no longer need. And later that day, another station, Jupiter, the Grand Benefic, stations direct at 10:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on October 18th at 1:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 22 degrees and 20 minutes of the fixed sign of Aquarius. We feel that 5 days before and 5 days after, and that's the luckiest planet and brings us a lot of different opportunities. And it's in your house of love affairs, creativity, children, and fun. And you've got it till December 29th. So really, again, like I said, using that energy to magnetize what makes you happy. And on October 18th, Mercury, the planet of communication, stations direct in your sign at 11:17 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 10 degrees and 8 minutes of the cardinal sign of Libra. And Mercury will be in your sign until November 6th, so you have more opportunity to focus on what you want to do, what you want to organize, but now you have more clarity. And for all of us, now we have 4 planets direct, especially a personal planet, which can affect relationships and communication. Relationships are based on communication, so we need that. So that's excellent. And then on October 20th, there's a full moon that takes place at 10:57 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 27 degrees and 26 minutes of the cardinal fire sign of Aries. This full moon takes place in your house of relationships. There could be breakups, there could be endings, there also could be fruition, maybe manifestation of things you've been working on. Maybe you've been dating somebody and it takes another level. It also speaks back to when Mars retrograded in the fall of last year on September 9th. It retrograded in this sector of your chart in your house of relationships at 28 degrees of Aries on on September 9th. And that was challenging because Mars loves being in Aries. It's how we take action. And when it's retrograde, it's really hard to move ahead. And for you, it probably brought some frustration and reevaluation in how you can be more effective in partnering, because you are the sign of relationships. So this full moon, I think, has a few messages for you. And then on October 21st, Mars squares Pluto at 9:20 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on October 22nd at 12:20 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Those are both the planets of combat. It can be definitely aggressive energy, and Mars rules that full moon in Aries that takes place on the 20th, the day before. But in the same vein, it could be good for doing a detox, for eliminating toxic energy and purging. And then on October 23rd, we begin the Scorpio season. The sun changes signs and enters Scorpio at 12:51 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, where it will be until November 21st, lighting up your house of income and money and creativity, giving you opportunity to find new ways to make money in that process. On October 26th, Venus forms a square to Neptune, and that could be challenging in your communication, or perhaps there's misunderstandings. It can be deceptive, it can be disappointing, but more likely it's just misunderstandings, I feel. And then on the 28th of October, Venus forms a beautiful sextile to Jupiter. at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that is really nice energy and very harmonious, and for you, good for meeting people romantically, socially, having fun. Jupiter is in your house of romance and fun. On October 30th, the Sun squares Saturn at 5:53 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That could bring some roadblocks and challenges, but again, knowing what we need to work with. And later that day at, later on October 30th at 10:21 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Mars leaves your sign and enters the fixed water sign of Scorpio, where it will be until December 13th, in your house of income, money, what you value, and how you can be creative. And this is really good. Mars is in its detriment in your sign. It's in its rulership in Scorpio. It's fierce and fearless, but it gets the job done, and it helps you to find a lot of energy to earn money and to do what you value. And then on October 31st, Mercury forms a beautiful trine to Jupiter at 9:18 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on November 1st at 12:18 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Good for socializing, having fun, and feeling optimistic. I wish you a lot of luck, Libra, a lot of energy and focus on you in the beginning of the month and about what makes you happy, and good luck with everything. Thank you.